Hi, you guys, if you can hear me, I'm still just trying to get some things set up here, so give me a minute.
You need a website. Why not do it yourself?
Hi, Kathy. I can see your posts. Hi, Sean. How are you today? Doesn't look like my stream is moving on YouTube. However, my quality on my phone is 97%. Okay, there I am. I just moved. Good. Yay, Kathy. I'm glad you can hear me. So I've got my ugly mat. Hi. Out because this mat is covered in plexiglass, and I put this under here so that I would have a measurement thing, but I don't want to take my plexiglass off of here because I'm too lazy to take it off and put it back on. So I am just going to get my old mat out because we are going to cut. We are going to be doing some cutting. Good, Sean. I figured you would be working on art stuff, and I hope that your job search is going well. I'm so excited that you're here too, Kathy. It's nice to finally be able to chat with you. I did see you here the last time, but jelly printing takes a lot of my concentration, so I wasn't able to pay a whole lot of attention to the chat. So my kiddos are gone this weekend, but my hubby is home today because he worked 14 hours yesterday, and he is a gear selection engineer. Oh, I was just corrected. He worked 16 and a half hours yesterday, so he ran out of hours, meaning he can't drive today, so they had to give him the day off paid. And so he's home today, so if you hear him in the background, that's why. I wish we lived to clap closer to Kathy. I loved the spray paint planets, Sean. Thank you so much for sending those to me. I wish that you did videos, Sean, so that you could show us some of the cool things that you do. Hi, Pat. How are you? Hi, Kelly. Kathy says, LOL, Scott. Yeah, he's LOLing the company right now. He had a blowout on his semi, so he sat on the side of the road for them to come out and change the flat. And then they came and changed the flat and then left him there like he could drive it back. But he's like, I'm out of hours. I can't drive, because that's a DOT, Department of Transportation law, a regulation, that when you run out of hours, you can't operate that vehicle anymore. And they're like, well, we don't have anybody to send out there to bring you back to the terminal or anybody to drive that truck back. And he's like, well, I'll be sitting here until you send somebody. So he was on the clock the whole time, so it really didn't matter much to him other than he was really, really tired and really, really hungry. But they finally got it together, and he finally got home at, I think it was after 1, wasn't it? Great, Sean. I'm so glad you're going to start doing videos. Sean wants to know if they need anyone in project management or engineering in Southwest Missouri, Scott.
No, we're just
They're just a
company.
they're just a transport company, Sean. They do need people out here though if you want to move to Colorado.
Oh, probably need people out there too.
Well, they probably need people out there, but it would be dock work. But you
Well, they have management jobs.
and management positions. It's not Yellow Freight anymore.
So it's YRC.
It's YRC. It's a trucking company. Not an engineer. Engineer. Too funny. No, he doesn't work for DOT, but he's a truck driver. That's what I mean when I say
Gear selection engineer.
he's a gear selection engineer. Oh, I get what you're saying, Sean. You thought I meant he was an engineer. No, he's a gear selection engineer, meaning he is a truck driver. He's a truck driver. He selects gears. Oh, you went to Brown County where they started Dot Foods. No, it's not Dot Foods. DOT is Department of Transportation. Does Scott know Tony Grace? Do you know Tony Grace? Do you know Tony Grace?
No.
No. Hi, Charity. That's funny. Sean, look, you already have a fan. Charity's husband would never stop watching your videos when you start doing them. So look, you already have a subscriber. Sean, you know you'd have a ton of subscribers if you started a channel because we're all really interested in how you do your art. We want to check out that little fire routine that you do outside. Okay, so these are some tickets. Now these are the tickets. These are the tickets that I get at the Dollar Tree. And I don't remember how many you get in there because I've since thrown away the packaging, but you do get a bunch in there for $1. They are raffle tickets. So when you buy them, they just come in like, you know, they're all perforated together and then you have to tear them apart. So then what I do is I just leave them together in fives. You can do it however you want, but this is how I do it. You could even leave it together like this, but when I decorate them, I do it in fives. Okay, so I've already got some tore apart here. And then what I don't have them tore apart here. And then what I do is I bend them. What am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. I tear them down into fives. So I still have the ticket, both sets. So a raffle ticket is, the number is duplicated. So when you go to a fair or whatever, you fill out one part and put one part into the raffle bin. So then if they call your ticket, the numbers match up, but they have your information on the ticket that you put in the raffle bin, and it says keep this coupon so that you know what your number is, right? We all are pretty familiar with that. So I just fold the raffle ticket like this. Well, on my tickets, I wanted the little half circles to make them look more like a ticket. But I didn't do this part until after I decorated them, okay? So what I did is after I decorated them, that's kind of hard to see. Here, let me put a piece of paper behind it. There, that's probably a little bit better. See how I cut the little circles? The little half circles, so that they looked more like a ticket. So that's how I did mine, and then after I put the paper, and I only put the paper on one side, and then I just kind of folded it to get that center perforation. Now these aren't decorated. Now I know that I sent some of these to some of you that I sent Happy Mail to. Whenever somebody sends me something in the mail, I typically send a thank you, and I throw some things in there. So I know, Sean, I sent you some of these. And I don't know if anybody else received any of these, but I just sent Sean, like, these are my, some of my jelly prints. This is a stamped paper that I did. This is another stamped paper. I typically like to use my own papers. Like, this was a scrapbook paper. A lot of these were scrapbook papers that I did. They're not embellished yet. So like when I sent those to Sean, I sent him plain ones so that he could then further embellish them the way that he wanted to. Or he could use them like this, whatever. But when I send them, I just send them like this so that other people can further embellish them. Now, when I did do some ATCs at one point, I did send a ticket with my ATCs that I traded, but I only sent one ticket. But they were embellished tickets. So like I had put embellishments on each ticket. I ripped the ticket apart and then I sent it as an embellishment. So there's a lot that you could actually do with these. Okay, so that's if you buy the ticket from the Dollar Tree or whatever, if you buy a bundle of those tickets. Now, you don't have to have them. You don't have to buy these tickets from the Dollar Tree. It's a good deal. They're only $1, and I don't remember exactly. Yeah, I sent you the arted ones. I'm looking at the chat. Hi, Shell. Or Cheryl. I always call you Shell because of your channel name. Hi, Sim. Cool, Sean. I'm glad that you used them. Okay, Cheryl. I'll talk to you later. Okay, so, but you don't have to have these. You can make your own out of cardstock or whatever paper you want to use. This is one that I did out of cardstock. See, it looks pretty similar, right? Except for this one, I punched a hole in the center. So first off, I'm going to show you how to make these out of cardstock. So simple. So each one of these tickets is 1 inch wide. Each ticket now is 1 inch by 2 inch. Okay, so you need to cut a strip 1 inch by 10 inch. Okay, so all you need is a regular piece of cardstock. This one I already cut. I made the one I just showed you, this one, out of it. So you're going to hold your paper horizontally. You're going to cut it horizontally. And the first thing you're going to do is cut your 1 inch strips. Now, a really good thing to do if you want to collage your tickets, if you want to stamp your tickets, if you want to paint your tickets, it would be, and you're doing it this way, go ahead and do that on your paper. Because then when you cut your tickets, it's already done and you don't have to work with a tiny piece of paper. So let me get a piece of paper that's already decorated. Okay, so for example, I have these two pieces of regular cardstock that I had stamped. So these would be really good to use for tickets. So let me go ahead. Sorry, hair. I'm still losing hair rapidly. So it's just everywhere. The thing is with this one is I didn't do this. I'm not going to do it, but because I did this, my paper's vertical. So remember, when you're doing that and putting words, you would want to put your words vertical. I do have some that don't have writing on it. This is another piece of paper that I did sprays on. Okay, so it doesn't matter which way I cut this. So I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to cut my 1 inch. Now if you don't have a cutter like this, let me cut one with the cutter, but you're going to line it up at your 1 inch because you want them to be 1 inch tall. Okay, so that's 1 inch. And then you have 5 tickets in a row, so 5 times 2, each ticket is 2 inches. So you want your strip to be 10 inches long, right? Well, I could do that on this thing because it has this pull out somewhere. I never use it, so I don't know. It's there, believe me. So since I've got my measuring thing here, I'm going to lay, can you guys see? Yeah. I'm going to lay this on my line over here. And I'm going to do this for a couple of different reasons. Okay, so I'm going to lay it on my board. If you don't have this, then just use a ruler. I'm going to try to find a pencil. And I'm going to measure this out every 2 inches. But I'm going to mark both sides of my paper. Okay, every 2 inches. So we're going to mark 4. We're going to mark 6. We're going to mark 8. We're going to mark 10. Okay. Now, if you've got a scoring board, which I do, but it's big and bulky and I don't want to pull it out. I wish I had one of those small ones, but mine is like the big Martha Stewart jumbo thing that I usually only pull that out when I am doing a bigger project. So I'm going to stick this in and cut my little tail off that I don't need. So that's the piece I don't need. I'm going to put that in my scrap because I'll be able to use it for something. So if you had a scoreboard, you could definitely use that to score your lines. You could also put it in your trimmer, match up your 2 lines that the pencil marks. I have these little score things. You could use a bone folder. Anything that has an edge. You could use a toothpick, you could use a tweezer, anything that has a point on it to do this. So you can use the groove in your cutter like this, which is usually what I do. just line those two lines up. And by no means does this have to be 100% perfect. If you don't have a cutter, just use your ruler. And a bone folder or whatever object you're using to make that score mark. Like that. If you want it to dent in a little bit more, then put a piece of fun foam or something behind it, but really that's not even necessary. If you don't want to score it at all, don't score it at all. And then just fold them back on each other. You can, even it up if you want. Take something. I do have a bone folder somewhere, but just kind of flatten those edges. And voila. There you go. So there's your tickets, right? So now if you want to put your lines in it, you can put your lines in it if you want. And the one nice thing about decorating your paper beforehand, if you're using just regular cardstock, is you can do both sides. Or like me, I use spray so it kind of bled back to the back of the ticket as well. I kind of like it both ways. Like this doesn't have anything on the back, but you can always go back through here and sign it or write a little note on here. You can do that on this too, but it doesn't matter, do whatever you want to do. It really doesn't matter. That's what, coming into your own style is all about. So then this is just a hole punch, right? Just has a hole. Hole punches look different. I also have a couple, or I have one of these. I think this hole is a little bit smaller. This is the one that Brooke always goes to use. I don't know why she likes this one so much. It's actually harder to see. I don't use this one, but when she makes her tags, she always goes for this one, which it's harder to squeeze. I don't know why she likes this one. This one's like so much easier. But I turn it over so that I could see the hole. I can't bring this camera in and zoom it out like I can my actual camera. This is my phone. But see, I just put the tip of it in there and I cut it. Put the tip in and cut it. So I'm going to do that on both ends. Doesn't have to be even. Okay, and then where each one of your little creases is here, you can see, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's good if you get it on the side that you marked, because then you can see those lines a little bit better. And you're just going to go in and do a half a circle. Oh, my camera hand is over here. See, you're just going to do a half a circle and trim it. Now, don't beat yourself up about making these perfect, because it's ridiculous if you are. I mean, if you're a perfectionist, go for it. I'm a perfectionist, but even this doesn't have to be perfect for me. But again, do what makes you happy. When you're a perfectionist, even some of the things that you do, you need to let slide a little bit, I think. It goes by fast. I'm holding them up in the air, so it takes me a little bit longer. So see, then you've got this thing that looks like a ticket. Now, I did notice in some people's how they had I'm going to try this one, how they had the little circle in the middle as well. I guess I could use this, and I did that, and I did kind of like it. So you could do that a couple ways. You could do it this way, like this, and try to get a half circle in the center, or you could just simply open it up and try to eyeball it. And what I found is this particular punch is like an inch. It has like an inch opening. So if I put it to the center of it, or I push it all the way back to this punch and punch it, it's pretty close to the center. It's a little bit off. Whoops, I didn't punch it all the way. There we go. It's a little bit off. It's not directly in the center, but I can't get it any further in there. Now if I used this one, this little hand one, I don't like it because I can't see what I'm doing. I could get it further in there. See, and punch it more in the middle. So then you have that. So then when you tear this off, you know how the tickets have that little perforation, or that little circle like that. So however you want to do it. This one's like overloaded with circles now, but I think it's one way or the other. Either you put the circles on the edges here, or you put it in the middle. I don't think you need both, because that's not the way tickets are. Okay. And then you just simply start to embellish them. Now, if you're using your own papers and you've already painted them and all of that stuff like this, then you're already ready to go and embellish them. So, you know, there's an upside to using your own cardstock, and then, you know, there's an upside to using the pre-bought tickets. It's just a matter of how you look at it. Now, these aren't terrible to use because you can decorate 2 sets of these tickets out one time. Just, you know, tear this off. You can put a couple of these down. You know, like 4 of these down, and do them all at once, even that many. Let me get a sheet here. Okay, so I can lay these out. And I can do this many at one time, which is a lot like doing a sheet of paper. So then you ask, well, what are we going to do with these? Well, there's a ton of things we can do with them. We can simply just put a coat of paint. First of all, you don't even have to do anything to these other than start stamping on them. Start painting on them. If you don't mind the yellow background, maybe you just want to knock the yellow back a little bit. Well, we can knock the yellow back a little bit really easily by putting some white paint on it. Okay, so let's do one of them that way. This is just Anita's acrylic white paint. So I'm going to put some of that in. Just one of these little plastic palette thingies. And say this doesn't really bother me that much. I can knock this yellow back and still have it show through, which is kind of cool because it says ticket on there. But yet it's just kind of bright. And you can get these in other colors. They're not real fabulous colors. It's like red, green. I think there's blue and yellow. But see how you can knock that back with some white paint? But yet you can still see the ticket behind it. But you've gotten it back enough that it's not so in your face. See the difference? You could even go over that again if you want. So we could do a couple of these. Acrylic, the thing about working with acrylic paint is it dries really quickly. And then you could just, start to go from there and use that as your initial base. Okay. Or we could, let me take this brush out. Use some gesso. This is heavy gesso. I'm trying to find a knife here. Okay, so this is heavy gesso. I can put some heavy gesso on here and smear this on and put a thin coat. Were any of you able to download the jelly prints from last week and use any of those? And if so, I'm curious how they printed. I didn't print any of them, but I'm curious to see how they printed out for you. Now, since I made a mess on there, I should have put a paper towel down. Okay, so if you want another coat on there to totally cover that and to white that out, then just get your brush put another coat of paint on there. And 2 coats should pretty much cover it up enough to where if you're going to stamp it or whatever you're going to do to it, it should be good enough. I mean, it's still going to show through a little bit, but not enough to make any big worries about what's bleeding through. The number does a little bit, but that's kind of cool. If you don't want anything showing on it, then just give it a 3rd coat. So that's 1 coat, that's 2 coats. Okay, so gesso, 1 coat of paint, and 2 coats of paint. Gesso's going to take longer to dry than anything here. So let's stick that over there. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we can do. We could cover these with paper. We could cover this with paper, which is really simple to do. Just need Mod Podge. If you don't have Mod Podge, you could use 50% Elmer's School Glue and 50% water. That makes Mod Podge. Oh, I hate when my printer runs out of ink. So let me get another brush here. What paper do I want to use? I don't think I've got any white enough in my scrap bin here. We went to this place called the Airplane Restaurant, and you eat in an airplane. And you can take their menus as a souvenir. I'm going to put these over here just because they're wet and I'm bound to stick my arm in it. So I took one of their menus. And so it's just exactly perfect. To fit on this. So I am going to cut this. I like that. I like the airplanes, but I can use that top banner for something else. So that's the kind of thing that you need to think about when you go to places. Even if you just get one of those little free newspapers out of those little free newspaper bins, like the Thrifty Nickel and stuff. I thought about using the sheet music that Kendra sent me. And then I thought about using the phone books that Sean just recently sent me, but then I saw this in there and I thought, ooh, I'm going to use that. So there's a lot of things that you can use. Now I would rather cut this too big than too short. So I'm going to allow myself a little bit of extra room, and I'm going to go ahead and, mark this line just so that I cut it straight, because I am not a straight cutter. So then we are going to I'm just making sure that this is going to fit. I'm going to cut this end off right where this frame for the newspaper is, because it's pretty close to exact. I'll have a little bit hanging over, but I want it pretty close. Okay. So I am going to put Mod Podge on this side of my ticket. This stuff dries pretty quick. So you do want to work quickly. And you don't want to be so generous that it's like all over sopping up the place, you know, but you want to be generous enough that your stuff sticks. If you don't get it straight, just lift it up. You have time. Smooth it. I like to take a gift card and push the air out. Okay. And then I'm going to go around my edges. And I'm going to trim this off. The girls like to decorate tickets too, but we don't necessarily have to paint them for them. I mean, they like to paint them, but not to cover them up and decorating them. They more like to embellish the tickets. Okay, if you've got any edges lifting up like this, like I've got this edge that didn't quite get gluey. I'm trying to get some, but my Mod Podge is too deep down in there, so I'm just going to put some on my finger. Seems like it's always the corners that I miss. It doesn't take much. Okay, so there, that's stuck down. So if I want to knock that back, I can get my paintbrush. So don't limit yourself. You know what I mean? Don't just use all painted papers, or don't just use all scrapbook papers or stamped papers. Try different things. Okay, we can hit this all with a heat gun, but we can keep going too. So what should we do with this one? Are y'all still here? Haven't seen any comments lately. How about we just put some colors on this one? These are just some regular acrylic paints. Okay, Charity, I was just making sure nothing was, yep, you could do some washi tape. Definitely the washi. That would be fantabulous. I've never done washi tape. That's a really good idea, Kathy. I'm just kind of putting little dabs of paint on here. And I think I'll just use my finger. Smear it around in colors first so that I don't get a lot of mud. Okay, onto the blue. Sometimes your fingers are the best tool. Okay, so let's do that, and let me get one more. I have some washi up here. It's all stuck up here pretty good. I have some big pieces that Louise put on her package that would probably be perfect for this. You know what? No, I'm just going to get out my washi. I got this washi and I love this washi. Let's try it on here. It's a little bit thin, but I think I can get it in between the lines where the yellow is. And then the white will be the border, like it is on the tickets. Okay. So you could actually just do it that simple. Okay, I want to knock this back with some white, but I need to wait for it to dry a bit. So let's go back to, let's see, our gesso is still pretty. Let's just get out stamps. How about we just get out stamps and work on this? Let me clear some of this off of my desk because it's starting to overwhelm me. Okay, Kathy, come over. I need an assistant. Brooke's usually my assistant, but she's not here today. She usually tries to keep things clean for me. I just have to, I can't work in when my desk starts to fill up and I don't have anywhere to put anything. It starts to make me feel nervous. Okay, almost there. Okay. So I still want to knock this back a bit. This is gesso. It feels pretty dry. The paper still feels a little wet. This is my airplane menu, and it's, you can see it's lifting up in a couple of places. So I put my Mod Podge away, so I'm just going to squirt some glue down where it's lifting. Okay, just rub it on this edge of my desk to get the curve out of it a bit. Okay. So that's what we got so far. This is probably dry enough now. So I'm going to take my paintbrush. I'm going to take some of that white paint and just knock some of this color back. I'm going to add a little bit of water to my paint. Kind of turned it green. Okay, so let's put the washi aside. Let's take the restaurant. These are sprays, but I'm not going to spray. I'm just shaking it to get all of that mica off the bottom. Okay, I'm going to actually unscrew it. I'm going to drip it. And I think I'll take my little brush. So yeah, this restaurant's really cool. They have an old Air Force plane. Part of the restaurant is a building, but then in the back of the restaurant you can either sit in the restaurant building part of the plane, or you can actually go in and sit in the airplane, in the Air Force plane. And then they've gutted the cockpit, but it still has some of the controls and stuff in it, and the kids can go up in there and play. You know, with the controls that are in there, and pretend like they're flying the plane. We took a lot of pictures of the girls, and they had a blast. It was a really neat experience, and the food wasn't bad. Kind of one of those touristy things, right? I don't have any idea what I'm doing here. I don't know if I like this effect that this is giving or not. But we're doing it, so hi Shona. Hope I said it right this time. took my son there for his birthday. Colorado Springs is a big military town because the Air Force Academy is up there, so we went up there and they have that restaurant, so we've always wanted to go up there and try it, so it was kind of neat that we got to experience that with them. On his birthday. Thank you, Pat. I don't really even know what I'm doing here, but this is just a layer. This isn't the finished product. So whenever you're like looking at it and thinking to yourself, what am I doing? This doesn't look good. Just keep going. Eventually it is going to turn into something. And it usually does turn into something wonderful. It's just, you know, it's like anything. It goes through its ugly duckling stage. And to me, I think mine at this point is going through my ugly duckling stage. But thank you for being so kind about it. Kathy, we are pretty far from Colorado Springs. I think it's like 80 miles from us, if I remember right. It was an all-day thing. Okay, so that's just another layer. This, I'm not happy since I put that white on it. The green paint wasn't drying, so it just drug my green all over the place. So we're gonna fix that now. We are gonna put some of this. But see how you have to shake these really well? Shona, I've always crafted. My mom was a big crafter, and so I kind of grew up with watching her. She was into like crocheting and knitting, and she always tried different things. I remember her making candles and just all kinds of things she did. And my grandmother was a big sewer, and my grandmother was also a painter, mainly oil painting. And so I just came from, you know, a long line of women that were just really crafty. My great grandma was very crafty. So I think that, you know, when you're raised in a house like that, and when you're born into a family where crafting is just part of you, you know, I think that some people, it's just in their DNA, really. And so I, you know, had that, and then I just always crafted. So I started out kind of doing the things that my mom did. But I never really got good at knitting and crocheting. I wish that I would have paid more attention. Because now I really wish that I knew how to do it. Macrame was a big thing in our family. I could macrame and macrame. So yeah, you know, there was that. But I love to sew. I started sewing when I was really little. I was always in home ec in school. Hi, Janet. And so, yeah, by the time I was, you know, in like 8th and 9th grade in junior high, I was always the assistant to the teacher in junior high, helping her, you know, teach the students how to sew and stuff. And then when I got the girls, actually when me and my daughter became estranged, I really went into a deep, deep depression. And I put all of my crafting stuff away. I actually gave a lot of it away. And for 3 years, I didn't craft anything. And then one day, there's a fruit fly flying around, if you see that. And then one day I told my husband I'm getting my craft stuff out. And that's when I started watching videos, right? Because videos were like the new thing, and I really hadn't watched any. I had watched some crafting videos on YouTube because, of course, I had my YouTube channel because I was doing daily vlogs. And so I did see some crafting videos here and there, but then I got a hold of this mixed media art, and I'm like, man, that is so cool. I'm going to try some of that. And so that's how I got into mixed media, and I just fell in love with it. I like how the spray turned the white. This is just a paint pen, a Deco Color opaque paint marker, but I sprayed it first with my homemade. Did I spray it with this one? I don't remember if I sprayed it with the Tattered Angel. You guys probably remember, or if I did it with my homemade. Regardless, I think I did the Tattered Angel. It turned my paint, when I splattered this paint pen on here, it turned the opaque white purple. Isn't that cool? Okay, so let's move back to this guy. I'm thinking. I do that once in a while. This is Tattered Angel, and the color is this like cloudy blue with gold. Yeah, that did turn out cool.
Yeah.
So see, that was the paint that I put the different colors on. And then I went over it with the white to knock it down, but the white paint turned everything kind of green. So don't ever give up on it. Just continue to add layers to it. This I'm just kind of trying to get the glitter mist to distribute on here. If it has drippies on it, I don't care. Okay, so we'll let those dry. But we're not done with them yet. Okay, this is my gessoed piece. Now this has a lot of tooth to it, so whatever I do to this should be fabulous. These are my slick sticks, Crayola twistable slick sticks. These are awesome, you guys. So what I like about the slick sticks is, I don't know what I'm going to do with the slick sticks, but I want to do something with the slick sticks. I think I'm just going to give this one a border. What these are is a soft crayon. They're for kids. But oh my gosh, they are so fabulous. Watch what they do with water. So I'm just going to outline that, okay? My water needs some help at this point because it's got Mod Podge, it's got gesso, it's got paint. So this is a water pen, water paintbrush thing. But look what this stuff does. Now, how does a crayon do that with water? Tell me, because I can't figure it out. It's amazing. Crayola Slick Sticks. It really is. It fascinates me. It really fascinates me because it's wax, right? It should resist water. Let's see. Reading to see if it says what they're made out of. They're non-toxic. It says that they're super smooth crayons. Crayola Twistable Slick Sticks lay down intense, creamy, smooth colors for rich, satisfying effects. No sharpeners needed, no labels to peel, plastic barrels protect slick sticks from breaking. Try slick sticks on surfaces like paper, foil, cardboard, foam, paperboard, sandpaper, paper towels, and wax paper, or make thick layers and etch designs into the colors. Color sets in just a few minutes. Slick Stick users offer these enthusiastic comments. You get maximum color with minimum effect. Wow, Slick Sticks just glide over the paper. Each color stroke is completely opaque. You don't have to recolor to cover the paper. So easy to draw with. Great for any skill level. They're totally non-toxic and suitable for children under 36 months. And that's only because of the small parts, which is probably the cap. It doesn't say what they're made of. But there are some metallic colors in here, like there's a gold and a silver. So I don't know. But they truly are amazing. Hi Jolene, by the way. I've never used gelatos. Bye Sean, have a good day. Bye Pat, have a good day. Hi Crystal. They feel like crayons. Like honestly, they do feel like crayons, so I don't know. Okay, so where do we go from here? Still a little bit, we have a couple more here. I really think we just need to start stamping at this point. I might add a little bit more sprays just to give these a little bit of background shine. So this is my homemade, this was a Martha Stewart color, and look at the pearl in that, it's so pretty. Like about these bottles that I got from Paper Mart is they spray really fine. The mist sprays really fine out of them. Okay, and I'm just gonna top this one off with some specks of purple. We'll put that aside. Okay, so let's move on to this one. I still think it's dark, but let's see what we can do with it. I have this white ink, but white ink just never really works all that great. So let me put the sprays out. Ah, here's my knife. I've been looking for you. Messy. Okay, there's my little stamps. I think I can probably get rid of the paint. Get rid of this. Put the lid on my glue. love these little stamps. These are the stamps I got at Tuesday morning. And they're Delusion. No, they're Ranger, sorry. You know, Wakely. And they're so cute. They're these little mixed media hearts. They're not quite small enough to fit on each ticket itself, but that's okay. They don't have to. Oh, they're together. These ones are together. Oh, I thought they were separate. Darn. Okay. Is it love what makes the impossible? It is love that makes the impossible possible. Where there is love, there is no darkness. Or love rocks. I think I'm going to use this one. And I don't care if the hearts are going sideways. So I am going to put these on here. Now I don't know if this is going to work, you guys. You guys see me? Let me scoot those guys up. I don't know because I've never had great luck with the white ink. Trying to figure out how I want to do this. Should put them right in the middle. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, that's okay. It gave it some background noise. Okay, okay. So I don't know what to talk about. What should we talk about, you guys? Sometimes I'm all talkative and sometimes I'm just not. You know what I'm saying? Help me out. Help me out, guys. Let's put some color in that. What do you say? These little guys never let me down. I don't know why you just put that up. I need it back. I'm not done with it yet. These are Color Box chalk inks. You know how much I like these. Am I excited for fall? I am and I'm not. Isn't that weird? I usually am like so excited for fall, but I'm kind of sad to see summer go. I feel like I didn't get out enough this summer. Maybe I'll get out more this fall. Maybe it's because, you know, with the death of my mom and stuff, I don't know. I'm still trying to get over all of that and stuff, so maybe I need to change the way I look at it and say, yes, Charity, I am so excited for fall. What do you like about fall, Charity? My birthday's in October, but I don't really look forward to birthdays anymore because I'm so old. I'm not so old, but you know, comes a point in your life where you just quit looking forward to birthdays. You are, Kathy? Is anybody else having a hard time seeing the screen? It's starting to buckle up on us. Well, you know why? Well, no. It has been an hour and a half. Okay. So I am going to stop this stream and start a new one. Because remember, that's what happens at an hour and a half. YouTube tries to kick me out, and then I got to start a new one. I can't refresh. We just have to start over. So I am going to do just that. I am going to stop the stream and start a new one. So you're going to have to go back to my channel and click on the new live stream. But remember, it takes me a few minutes to get it all set up. Okay? So stand by for part 2.